Hello and welcome into the latest edition of the Fore-All Podcast. I'm Jesse Morrison alongside Max Bechtold. And Max, we have come to basically the end of the LPGA season as far as, official tournaments go. We'll have the Grant Thornton, the PNC coming up, but again, not official LPGA tournaments. And we've got a player of the year, a CME Group Tour Championship winner. Uh, Jeeno takes both of those titles. Second straight year she's won this tournament. She's a very wealthy woman at this point, and it was a really dominant performance. There was not much anybody else could do in that one.
Absolutely. I mean, there's so many ways to start with this because this was, in my opinion, arguably, I'd say the performance of the year on the LPGA
Yeah,
Tour. And it's incredible that we got the last week of the season. So there's so many places to go with Jeeno here. Obviously, she's a phenomenal putter. Her approach game is solid. She hits the ball in the fairway almost every time. But I just think the mentality is something that is just so much stronger with her than any other player on the tour. I think it's what really separates her. She was talking this week to the media and basically said that like she just views this tournament as a bonus. Like she doesn't even you know care necessarily that much about it. I think that's something that's really interesting and why she's been so successful when you have this $4 million winner's prize on the line that the pressure even for the biggest stars on the tour. $4 million will put a lot of pressure on you, and I just think she goes in without feeling that pressure, stays cool, stays calm, and delivers fantastic performances.
yeah, and I mean, I just thought watching her play, and the part of the tournament that I watched was actually her worst round, for the fourth round, and I just, she still shot a 68.
Yeah.
But just watching her play, I just feel like she's on a different level right now than everybody else. Like her, it's just like I was watching it and just like I felt like so many times when she would you know make a great shot, it was like, oh my gosh, that's just such a great shot. I was just like, they go to the next hole, such a great shot. Like it's just she just is a phenomenal player.
She's that running back that gets 9 yards every carry. She
Yeah,
may not break off the 80-yard runs, but she doesn't get the 1 yard runs either.
yeah,
She wears you down with those 9 yard runs, and eventually that adds up.
yeah. And I think we have had questions about her being clutch, and I think that that's probably uh she's put that to rest at this point. Would still like to see it in a major,
Yeah.
but I mean, she had really tough competition in the majors this year. But yeah, an unbelievable tournament from her. It was really not um, in doubt. It was never in doubt.
It was one of those things on the final day. You kept on convincing yourself oh, maybe this could happen, or if this happens this way. But that was just all trying to create something. Jeeno was really the winner from the start to finish.
Yeah,
It was pretty much from the second round on.
yeah, and you're not gonna. I'm not gonna say it's like it was a bad tournament either, because just of how well she played, it was fun to watch her play.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just think that it's a phenomenal season by her. Um, one of the best seasons of all time. Uh, she set the scoring average for the LPGA. Just you know, she can probably take it to another level, though, right?
I think there's parts of her game, as crazy as it is to say, because she is so dominant in basically every statistic. I mean, she still doesn't get a ton of length compared to other players. Like she still hits it plenty long, but if she could add a longer driving element to her game without losing the other elite aspects of her, I mean, that's certainly something. If you had to really, really get picky about a weakness, like her chipping, maybe play around the green isn't as phenomenal as other players. But I am totally seeing her. Like we've talked about, Nelly Korda being comparable to Scotty Scheffler. I really think we could see Jeeno next year have a Scotty Scheffler type year where it's just every week, if it's her versus the field, you take her.
Yeah, I think that she's a player that I'm going to be looking to continue this. I also like the fact that if you want to talk about um, Nelly, like she didn't really have the momentum going into this year. Her great year was kind of done earlier in the season last year. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think that Gina's got some momentum, and we've talked about how the LPGA off season is not that long. So, hopefully in January when this gets going again, she's able to just pick up right where she left off because like we've said, dominant players, good thing for golf.
Yeah, and it will be interesting to see next year if she comes and plays in the first tournament of the year. Kind of a really wonky schedule next year when you look at, especially starting off. Basically, they play the Tournament of Champions, of course. They have a couple weeks off, then they go to Asia. So we're not going to see players like probably Nelly Corda will play one event before April. Like
Yeah.
that's kind of where we're at right now. And so yes, a player like her who presumably is going to play on the Asian swing in the spring, that's a really good chance for her to get that momentum really
Yeah,
established.
I'd like to see her play early on in the season just because again, I think that's better for her going from this season where she has so much momentum late in the year. But yeah, 3 wins on the year for her. Highest earning season in LPGA history, which is pretty phenomenal. This event, the CME Group Tour Championship, is awesome just because I think it's like the one place in sports where you're like, man, the women are properly getting paid.
Yeah, it's the highest paying, I believe, women's sporting event in the world
Yeah.
for first place. At least that's how they market it. And it's really great that CME really has stepped up throughout the year, supports the LPGA Tour so well. Obviously, with this tournament, they do a lot of great work with St. Jude with this tournament and throughout the season, donating money for every hole in one. So CME is really, really doing great work with the LPGA Tour.
Yeah, and you look at this tournament, the lowest earner, the last place finisher in this tournament made $55,000 from winning this, which is a good number. I mean, you look at the WNBA, and I know they're working to get better at like they're working on a CBA that's going to raise this, but like that's like 20,000 less than a rookie contract for the WNBA.
Yeah.
So, uh, this is a great tournament. I also want to point out how awesome the crowds were.
Yep.
Crowds were great at this tournament.
Yeah, it
And
kind of fits perfectly into the kind of seasonal thing where you're starting to get the snowbirds in Florida.
Mhm.
It's at that course all the time. Naples is a huge retirement community, huge golf community, and I can just speak to. I was there last year. People just come year after year. It's just kind of a routine for them that they make sure they come and support it every year. They know they're getting the best players in the world. Obviously you're going to have a great field when you have a $4 million first place prize, and so yeah, it's great to see. It's a community that really loves its golf, and they really love this tournament.
Yeah, beautiful course too.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. You've been in Naples. I haven't, but you said good things about Naples,
Yep.
Florida. I've heard nothing but good things about Naples from basically everyone that I've
Yeah.
talked to that's been there. So it's definitely a place I want to check out for sure. Anything else stand out from this tournament to you? I mean, there was a great shot by Nelly Corda. I mean, we can't
Yeah.
glaze over that.
Yeah.
Disappointing season for her. We'll get into that, but what a great shot from the bunker.
It was, and she struggled on the front nine, which was kind of it took a lot of the air out of this tournament. How poorly she played on the front nine.
Which has been her season. It's a good nine, a bad nine. Whatever nine it
Exactly.
is, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and it's like I actually I'll plug it right now. I have an article up that's really breaking down Nelly Corda's season and trying to come up with the explanations and some of the maybe myths that have even formed around her season.
Yeah,
For example, this was actually her best putting season on tour of her career,
really.
just by the stats. And so there's a lot to say, but this tournament just kind of epitomized everything about the season where she played great, she was in contention, just couldn't get it done on the final day, couldn't get back into it. But I think it's her last few events have been a good kind of leaping off point, I think, for next year. She's going to go probably have almost like 4 months off, as crazy as that sounds, after she plays in the Grant Thornton and the PNC. And I think she's going to put in a lot of work, get back to maybe some of her elite iron play. That's like one of the areas that I was a little bit surprised she struggled in a little bit this year. I think she was like 28th in strokes gained approach. Usually you see Nelly up in the top 10 of that category. So I think that's one place that she can really improve. And I view this season a little bit as a fluke. I think she ran into some buzzsaws on tournaments that she played really well, like this one. And I think we're looking at a player who's going to win 2 to 3 times for the next couple of years.
Yeah, I think what's interesting to me, that putting stat that you said, because like when I've watched her play this year, I've very much been like, man, her putting is just not there. And so that's interesting to hear. I think it'll be good for her to take some time away, because I feel like at the end of the season recently, she's just kind of been trying to play her way out of it. She's played in more tournaments than we probably expected her to play in.
Yeah.
So I think she's just been kind of trying to play her way out of it, and not sure that really worked. I think it'll be good for her to just kind of get away from the game. Yeah, it might even be good, and this is crazy for a golfer to do, but it might be good for her to just take like a month off.
It reminds me a lot of the transition from the 2023 season to the 2024 season. 2023, very similar year to this. She didn't win, but she led the tour in top 10s for player without a win, just like she did this year. She took a month, and then came out, won in Bradenton, took another month off, then won obviously 4 tournaments after that in a row. I'm obviously am not expecting her to do that, but I'm expecting her to play very well at the beginning of the season this year. Obviously, as I said, there's not a lot of opportunities for her to get on the course until a little bit later, almost a third of the way through the year, assuming she doesn't play in Asia. But I do expect her to get off to a good start next year.
Yeah, and I'm talking about more just like not even picking up the club. Like, just,
yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Like, get away from it. It's like riding a bike to her. She's a professional golfer. She's not going to forget how to golf in a month. She'll come back. She'll be feeling good physically. I think it's no secret that she's probably been battling something this year.
Yeah.
It's just kind of our theory that we've had. And so, yeah, she'll just get back and, feel rested, go on a vacation, go to some place that they don't play.
Go to a couple Packers games. She's become like a huge Packers super fan.
Did not know that.
Yeah, go to a couple Packers games.
Yeah, go to a couple Packers games. Do that. Like, if she's not doing anything in January, then Packers make a deep playoff run. Go to the frozen tundra in the middle of the cold, like that. Like, do something. Yeah. Do something fun.
I just want to touch on Padria Nanarukarn. Obviously, the runner-up kind of seemed like at some point during the tournament was going to give Jeeno a run, at least put some pressure on her. Obviously, those two are really good friends, both being from Thailand, around the same age.
The Thailand.
We've been talking about Japan all year, but good performance from Thailand.
Yeah, Patty T was in the top 10 of this field. So shout out the players from Thailand.
Yeah, and Nanarukarn really quietly has had a really nice career so far. Has 2 wins already on the LPGA Tour. Was the last player in the field. She was the 60th ranked player heading into this, and to finish second, to almost get that $4 million. I've been a little bit critical about how the CME Group Tour Championship works and how it's winner take all. But that does show why it's interesting, is that a player can be the last player in, and she still has a chance to take home the biggest payday.
Yeah. I think, she won $1 million for this. So, which is better than some wins.
Yes, most wins. It's.
Yeah, so really, really great performance by her. Just wasn't. It's shooting 26 under is insane in this tournament.
It is, and she had a chance to get up to almost there, but she missed a couple short putts on the back nine that just really, I think, ended the tournament for her essentially.
Yeah, but anyway, good tournament for the Thai players. Interesting that we only saw one Japanese player in the top 10 in this tournament. So in the year of the golf's weird.
Yeah.
Golf
you just never
weird.
know.
Anyway, let's get to Rookie of the Year, Miyu Yamashita wins Rookie of the Year. Obviously, that's based on points.
Mm-hmm.
Um, could you just talk a little bit about her season and what her future looks like?
I'm going to be very, very intrigued by how sustainable this is. I do think it has the potential to be because she was already a pretty established player before coming over to the LPGA Tour. I mean, this is a player that qualified for the Olympics for Japan last year without even playing on the LPGA Tour. She played really well in majors last year. She was dominant on the JLPGA. But the thing that does concern me just a little bit is she is one of the shortest hitters on tour. And look, she's incredible at everything else. She's precise. She's great at hitting her fairway woods and long irons, so that kind of neutralizes out. I'm just going to be curious if she can be a dominant force on the tour with how short she hits it.
Yeah.
Other than that, though, obviously a phenomenal season. Won a major, won 2 tournaments overall. Was kind of a consistent player on leaderboards. Really had a strong finish to the year. I think for most of the year, we were probably expecting Ryo Takeda to take this home.
Yeah.
And so Yamashita really close strong, while Takeda kind of fell a little bit. I have no doubt that they're both going to be really good players on the LPGA Tour for a long time. But yeah, I mean, it's fitting that I think the top 4 finishers for Rookie of the Year were all Japanese, and it just that felt like the story of the season.
Yeah. As far as who, who are you going to take away from this season as being, who really stood out to you? Who you think had a really good year this year that they can build on moving forward, or just maybe even surprised you a little bit?
So I wouldn't say it was a surprise. I'm going to go off the beaten path because it's easy to say, yeah, Jeeno had a great year. Yamashita had a great
obviously, year. Like this is a non. This is we're going to say we're not talking about the player of the year, rookie of the year. Obviously, they played really well.
So this is a player that I didn't catch me by surprise because I had her as one of my breakout picks this year. And I think most of it held true was Austin Kim. I think this is a player that I would not be shocked to see take that leap to stardom next year, see her win, a couple tournaments next year, because she started to really put herself into contention. We just saw it at the CME Group Tour Championship, the KPMG Women's PGA Championship. She had some good rounds at the U.S. Women's Open. Like, this is a player, she's so powerful. She hits the ball so long. I think she just needs to get some of the rough pieces off of her game, including, I think, pressure play, which is just something that comes with a young player. But I'm really, really looking for Austin Kim to build off this momentum into next year because I think she impressed me quite a bit this season.
For me, I'm going to say that I was very impressed with Charlie Hull.
Yeah.
And what she did this year. Obviously a very popular player, but sometimes you hadn't really seen it in tournaments, like how like she's popular, but not exactly putting it together in tournaments. Late in the season, she really came on. She was always in contention. She won.
Mm-hmm.
And I was really impressed with that. And then I've talked about this on earlier shows. It was just kind of a year of the comeback for players.
Mm-hmm.
And I was really impressed with, Brooke Henderson and what she did.
Minjee Lee.
Minjee
Lee went from one of the worst putters on tour to one of the best in 1 year, which is incredible. In one off season, she flipped that switch.
Yeah, Arya had a good year, even though she didn't win. She was just always in contention, and she's a great player, and it was cool to see her back in contention this year. So that's kind of what stood out to me is players that had been great in the past being great again. And then, just Japan in general, everyone.
Japan had amazing.
Every player from Japan.
Yeah, even NASA, who was kind of falling off, came and got that win late in the year. I mean, Feway is really the only one that didn't have a great season, I would say.
Yeah.
I'd say
of the
she's
big stars.
Of the big Japanese stars, I think she's the only one who you would say had a bit of a disappointing year.
Yeah. Which takes us to our next one. Disappointing years. We talked a lot about Nelly. I think I'm going to put it firmly in the disappointing
I think it's
category, but it was also weird. So
I called it bizarre in my article, as I kind of framed it as her bizarre season.
It was a weird year.
It's a statistical anomaly of a season.
Yeah, and we talked about it. But who else kind of disappointed you?
So you were just talking about the comebacks.
Yeah.
A player who I was expecting to make a comeback who didn't. And I'm getting a little concerned that she's, I don't want to say over the hill, but that we've certainly seen the best of her is
Mhm.
Jin Young Ko. Obviously, two-time major winner, one of the winningest players of her generation. Another season without a win. She really didn't get herself into contention at all this season. I'm concerned about the future of Jin Young Ko, and this season was certainly a big part of that.
All right, for me, I'm gonna go with Rose Zhang. she's she was really hyped up a few years ago, like hyped up. This is going to be the next star. Like we were, we live out in Arizona, and I remember her coming out here for the college national championships. And my boss at my full-time job was like, "Oh, I was out watching her. She's a phenomenal player." Like there was a lot of hype
Mm-hmm.
in Arizona when she came and did what she did. And this year, just not. She had injuries, but it just wasn't a great year. And she was in contention kind of at times, but we haven't seen her really take off yet. And I'm hoping that she does, because she's kind of viewed as a prodigy in a way.
Next year is going to be a huge, huge year for Rose.
Yeah.
I think it's time for her to start winning, because she could be one of these greats, or she could be, and nothing against her. She's had a good career, but Leona Maguire, who is another player who's viewed as one of the greatest amateurs ever, one of the greatest college players ever, has had a solid LPGA career, but most people would say her career has been a disappointment. And Rose is still young. She's like 22, I think. So she's still very young. There's still time for her, but I'd like to see some progress next year.
Yeah, I expect her to, though. Like
Yeah.
I think I believe the hype there. I think she's going to next year win a couple times.
I think the interesting thing about Rose is kind of like Jeeno, but not as obviously not as strong as Jeeno is right now, where it's like she doesn't do anything really wrong, but I'm not sure what she's elite at, Rose. And I think that's like an interesting thing where she doesn't really have something that she hangs her hat on. Like, yes, she's very good with the approach shots. Yes, she hits the ball straight. Yes, she can putt very well, especially from long range. But I will be kind of curious. Like, I don't know what kind of course like firmly suits her. Like, oh, this is a course that Rose should go play really well.
All right. Well, that will do it for this episode, kind of. I mean, you're probably thinking that this might be our last episode of the year, whatever. No, it's not. Of course, we're going to talk about the Grant Thornton PNC. That stuff's coming up as well. Max, what do you have on the site that people need to check out?
So I have a lot of postseason wrap up stuff. I've put together two very lengthy articles. If you have like an hour and a half to read, go for it. Both breaking down Jeeno Tiddekun's incredible season, her record breaking season, all of the stats she led in, kind of breaking down what led to this great season. And also an article kind of on the flip side about Nelly Korda, like how did she finish with no wins despite every statistic pointing to her having a fantastic season. So I've got a couple articles up on that. And yeah, we're kind of entering the season wrap up phase. So a lot of stuff like that.
All right. Well, make sure to check out the site, foreall.com, FORE-ALL, and we will talk to you next time.